Good evening. Today is Thursday, March 20th, 2025. Jump day for Friday the 21st. All right, let's go. Well, as far as setups, let's stick with these two for now. I kept the parameters the same in case you were wondering. A little bit of a jump in CCL, but not much. We'll take a look at that. And just 1 second. In fact, we'll do that right now. A little pop here, but coming back in by the end of the day. Still looks like it's in lots of trouble. In fact, that's why it's on the Landry list for tonight. Looks like a potential new short in here. I am seeing some of these brokerage firms and some of these financial related firms setting up as shorts. Just want to show you that. Robinhood would be another one of those. For now, let's stick with the BR, and Dash as far as shorts. And obviously, we'll reevaluate this on a day-by-day basis. If Dash keeps pulling back, then we'll pick something else. And we're going to see more and more shorts in here setting up, obviously, over time, unless the market really, really improves. Let's take a look at the overall market. Not a tremendous amount to report tonight, but let's just take a look at it. Nonetheless, you can see the P's down a little in here. They tried to rally, came back in. Very anemic type of action. You would think this market would bounce a lot more than it has from this oversold condition. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ composite. NASDAQ composite down a little in here, off its best levels, off its worst levels too, but just down a little, just not a whole lot to report. And again, not much of a bounce happening there. Russell 2000 also down on the day, and again, not a whole lot of rally happening in these indices. In fact, the indices could actually rally significantly, maybe all the way to like the 30, which is the 200, right around the same area, and the NASDAQ at least, and they would still be in trouble. Some of these areas like copper remaining strong in here. We might see some setups there fairly soon. Gold right off these brand new highs. Gold stocks looking okay, off a smidge, but certainly off their best levels intraday. So we could see some stocks again there fairly soon. Again, the broker dealers are getting or look like they're still in trouble in here. Lots of trouble. A lot of areas look like they're in trouble though, but just the broker dealers is one of those areas that's standing out a little bit. Software so far just pulling back a bit. Let's take a look at semiconductors. Mountains and mountains of overhead supply to deal with there, as I've been saying ad nauseum. Telecom recently sold off fairly hard. So far just pulling back a little bit. Financials has pulled back quite a bit. I wouldn't rush out and buy them. They're kind of wide and loose and sideways at best. And so far, they still look like they could be in trouble. So I wouldn't get too excited about that just yet. Again, most areas still remain in questionable at best. Some areas like health services kind of hanging in there, but I wouldn't buy them just because they're going sideways and hanging in there on a relative strength basis while the overall market is still in trouble. I think that's pretty much it for tonight. If you have any questions, you know the routine. Thank you so much. Everybody have a great night. We'll talk to you tomorrow, if not sooner.